It's that time of the year again, the start of the new year. Wait, the middle of January. Wait, award season is just around the corner. Wait, what? The Oscars were when? Here at ScottyMeLad, we're celebrating our picks for our favorite video games, TV shows, and movies of last year. And we'll be covering each topic in their own video. And in this video, we cover video games. So you'll get to hear my thoughts along with Tristan's pick for our favorite video game of 2018. There were a lot of great games this year. It was one of the biggest for video games. The Switch kept on rolling with fantastic releases of AAA titles, and along with some great indies. Next, some of the games that impressed me the most this year were indie games. I also spent a lot of my time playing online this year, which is a first for me, as it gave me an easy and fun way to talk to my friends. But when I wasn't gaming with the boys, I was checking out what Sony had to offer this year. Marvel's Spider-Man, you know, the one for PS4, real good. A Way Out, not a PS4 exclusive, but I wanted to mention it because I had a lot of fun with it, and I needed a way to segue into God of War. Now, let me be perfectly clear. I hate the God of War series. Truly and absolutely hate it. I have loved Greek mythology since I was a kid, so you'd think it'd be up my alley. But I always hated how violent the game was. And look, I don't mind violence in video games. There's a lot of games that I love that are insanely violent. It just felt unnecessary and over the top in God of War. It didn't help that the game focused on such an unlikable, overly macho, irredeemable protagonist with Kratos. And so God of War was a series that really bothered me, but it was one that I found myself really interested in, due to the setting, as I mentioned before. So when I saw the conclusion to Kratos' Greek journey, I was incredibly curious to see how his Norse chapter would pan out, expecting another murder fest through another one of my favorite mythologies. So when I finally booted up the new game, I was utterly astonished of what Santa Monica Studios did with God of War PS4. They made Kratos a genuine character. They took all of the awful things he did in the past series and made him into a person with regret and remorse for these actions. Did they completely flip his character? No. At his core, Kratos is still rough. He is still full of rage. He is still the meathead who doesn't care about anybody else other than himself. But they made this character recognize these flaws in God of War 4. And the game? It's still as brutal and violent as the original series. But there is a purpose and weight to every action and every account of violence in the game. If you have already played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially when you meet the two brothers. Kratos in this game is trying to leave his Greek world behind, for the sanity of his own and for the woman he loved, which is the absolute crux of the game. Amidst all the axe throwing, all the journeying through Midgar, all the boy-ing, the story is about an estranged father and son trying to spread the ashes of the only other person either one of them ever loved. From beginning to end, that's what the core of the story is. And it's done beautifully. I haven't even gotten into his son Atreus' character arc, and how he's one of the most spectacular child characters in any video game. Or how the game is shot in all one take. There's no loading screens, it's all just one continuous thing, like in Gravity or in any other movie that guy directed. Prisoner of Azkaban, there's like that one scene. But all of those points are better seen for yourself when you play the game. So if you're a fan of well-told stories mixed with exciting gameplay, God of War PS4 is surprisingly right for you and me.
My favorite game of 2018 was a rough decision, and then I thought for more than 5 seconds and thought, oh, it should be my favorite game of 2018, and that was definitely going to be Spider-Man PS4. It was between Celeste and Celeste and Celeste, because both these games I feel really affected me on a deep level, and I took a lot from them, but it just had to be Spider-Man PS4, and that was definitely for personal reasons, but it was a lot about how good the game itself was. I feel that Spider-Man PS4 did a lot of things really well as a video game. As an open world game, its city, the whole map felt like its own character. And sure, you know, you can go in there maybe like a year from now and go, oh, this is your token open world. But when you compare it to the Spider-Man games from past, you know, obviously worlds above from Spider-Man 2, but just there's just so much there to keep you coming back for replay value, and not just, you know, to replay the story and whatnot, but to just go in and swing around and take that time like a lot of us used to whenever Spider-Man 2 and Ultimate Spider-Man the game came out. And then I truly felt that just the combat, everything about the gameplay really fit a Spider-Man game. I felt that the story did so much that really made it a high quality story, high quality game. And all of it just tied together really well with the gameplay stuff, tying into how your sense of urgency changes and where your objective is. And the story itself is just really well written, I feel. Yeah, they had comic book writers from current Spider-Man stories on there consulting, but on top of that, the development team said, hey, we are a team of Spider-Man fans creating this game for Spider-Man fans. And they weren't lying. That's because I feel that they really went into the heart of what really made the best Spider-Man stories and the best Marvel stories in general really work out. You know, they went back into what made the characters great. Yes, the character arc is what's really great. The character performance is what's really great. So they wrote it really well. They hired really great voice actors to really flesh everything out. And you will definitely see that, especially at the end of Act 3, especially at the end of the game. The performances are incredible. It's just a great experience. As for my personal reasons, I've just been a Spider-Man fan since day one of my birth, because I wasn't alive in the 60s. Anyway, it was a really great story. It was probably the best Peter Parker story that I have ever experienced. So it's got me looking forward to another sequel. It's got me looking forward to just anything they do within this Spider-Man universe. And I just think that as a video game, it does everything really well. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out that game. And even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, I think there's a lot to take from it. Especially, you know, if you're having a stressful day, just jump back into the game, swing around. It's just so good. So, best game of 2018, Spider-Man PS4.